Once upon a quiet, sleepy evening, in a little house tucked away near a very special garden, lived a small child named Lily. Lily had the coziest bedroom you could ever imagine, with soft, fluffy blankets piled high and a window that looked out onto the most enchanting sight. This was no ordinary garden. Oh no, this garden was always peaceful and seemed to glow with a gentle, soft light, even when the moon was just a tiny sliver in the sky. The grass in Lily's garden felt like velvet underfoot, and the flowers there weren't bright and bold like daytime blossoms. Instead, they were soft, pastel colors that seemed to shimmer faintly like sleepy dreams catching the last bits of starlight. Each petal was a tiny, comfortable bed for sleepy dewdrops, and they never hurried to open. They just gently unfurled, little by little, breathing out the sweetest, most calming scents. Sometimes, if you listened very, very closely, you could hear the flowers sighing softly, like they were already dreaming. The air in Lily's garden was always still and calm, as if it held its breath so as not to disturb the quiet magic. A gentle, soft breeze would sometimes float through, but it was so light it felt like a whisper against your cheek. This breeze carried the scent of moon, blossoms and sleepy dust, a fragrance that made your eyelids feel just a little bit heavier, and your mind just a little bit softer. It was the kind of scent that told you everything was safe and sound, and that sleepy time was drawing near. The moonlight in this garden was truly special. It wasn't a bright, wakeful kind of light, but a soft, warm glow that wrapped around everything like a cozy blanket. It made the leaves on the trees shimmer, and the tiny pebbles on the paths sparkle like forgotten wishes. Lily loved to peek out her window just before bedtime, watching the moonbeams gently dance on the garden path, making soft, flickering shadows that looked like quiet, sleepy creatures tiptoeing by. She knew that this gentle glow was a promise of peaceful dreams. Her bedroom, with its window looking out to this magical garden, was Lily's favorite place to be when the day was winding down. She would snuggle under her blankets, feeling the soft warmth around her, and gaze out at the garden. It was always there, waiting, quiet, and beautiful. The gentle light from the garden would sometimes spill into her room, making soft patterns on her walls and floor, like sleepy pictures painted by the moon. This soft light made her feel safe and warm, knowing that the garden was keeping watch, humming its gentle lullabies. There were little stone paths in the garden that wound and curved like sleepy rivers, leading to quiet nooks where tiny, soft, feathered birds would rest their heads. These birds never sang loud, chirpy songs. Instead, they made soft, sleepy cooing sounds like gentle murmurs that barely touched the air. Their feathers were the color of twilight and moonbeams, and they fluttered their wings very, very slowly, as if they were moving through thick, warm honey. They were always a comforting sight, nestled amongst the shimmering leaves. Even the little pond in the garden was quiet and still. Its surface was like a smooth, dark mirror reflecting the gentle glow of the moon and the soft shimmer of the surrounding plants. Tiny, sleepy fish would sometimes make a tiny ripple, just a little whisper on the water, before settling back into their quiet, slumber beneath the soft pond lilies. The water seemed to hum with a gentle, sleepy energy, making everything around it feel even more peaceful. Lily often imagined drifting on a tiny, soft leaf boat across that calm, still water. Everything in Lily's garden was designed for quiet comfort and gentle sleep. The garden was a secret keeper of sleepy feelings, a place where worries floated away like tiny clouds on a soft breeze. It was a heaven where even the smallest creatures moved with a gentle slowness, always aware of the soft, sleepy magic that filled the air. And Lily, nestled in her bed, felt a deep, warm contentment every time she looked out at her glowing, peaceful garden, knowing that its magic was always there, just beyond her window, waiting to share its sleepy stories. In the very center of Lily's peaceful, glowing garden stood the most wonderful tree you could ever imagine. This was not just any tree, oh no. This was the whispering tree, a very, very old and kind friend to all the sleepy things in the garden. Its branches reached up towards the gentle moon, and its leaves, instead of being plain green, shimmered with a soft, silvery light, like tiny, sleepy stars that had decided to rest for a while on a branch. Each leaf held a tiny sparkle, a little twinkle that seemed to hum a soft, quiet tune. The whispering tree had a special way of speaking. It didn't rustle loudly in the wind or creak like old wood. Instead, it hummed lullabies so soft and low that they felt more like a warm feeling than a sound. It was the kind of hum that made your eyelids feel heavy and your whole body feel soft and relaxed, as if you were floating on a fluffy cloud. And as it hummed, its shimmering leaves would gently sway, creating a gentle, rhythmic whisper like a secret being shared with the night. This whisper was the tree telling its sleepy stories. Sometimes, when the moon was particularly bright and the garden was extra quiet, you could almost see the tiny, soft pictures forming in the air around the whispering tree. They were like little dream clouds, drifting slowly, showing glimpses of gentle adventures and cozy places. The tree had seen so many moons rise and set, and it knew all the quietest tales, the ones that helped little ones drift off to the sweetest, most peaceful slumber. It loved to share these stories, wrapping them in its soft, humming whispers and sending them out into the sleepy air. Lily knew about the whispering tree. She had watched it from her window many, many times, feeling the soft warmth radiating from it, even across the garden. She knew it was a friendly tree, a kind tree, a tree that held all the quiet magic of the night. She loved to imagine the tiny, shimmering sparks that danced among its leaves, each one a little spark of sleepiness, a tiny point of comfort waiting to be shared. The tree's presence made her feel even safer in her cozy bed, knowing such a gentle giant watched over the garden. The bark of the whispering tree was smooth and soft like velvet moss that invited a gentle touch. Tiny, glowing lichens grew in swirls upon its trunk, forming patterns that looked like sleepy spirals, leading your eyes gently round and round until they felt wonderfully calm. And at the very bottom of the tree, its roots spread out like gentle, sleepy arms, holding the earth softly, keeping everything grounded and secure. It was a tree that felt strong yet impossibly gentle, a perfect anchor for the dreamy atmosphere of the garden. Even the little birds that nestled in its branches were special. They were the winged sleepy sparrows, with feathers the color of deep violet and shimmering silver. They never chirped. Instead, they whispered tiny, happy sighs and made soft cooing sounds. Like the gentle bubbling of a sleepy stream, they would tuck their heads under their soft wings, feeling the tree's gentle hum, and drift into the sweetest bird dreams, dreaming of soft clouds and gentle breezes, never of anything fast or loud. They knew the tree would protect their peaceful sleep. The whispering tree had a very old and comforting smell, like warm earth mixed with faint starlight and the scent of slumbering flowers. It was a smell that invited you to breathe in slowly, deeply, and let your shoulders relax. It was a scent that whispered, "It's time to rest now, little one. Everything is peaceful." And as Lily watched, sometimes a single, shimmering leaf would gently detach itself from a branch, not falling quickly, but floating very, very slowly, turning lazily in the air as if it were dancing to the tree's soft hum. These special leaves were filled with tiny, soft whispers from the tree. They carried little pieces of its sleepy magic, like tiny, glowing messages. They were not heavy leaves, but light as a feather, so delicate that a mere breath could send them on their slow, graceful journey. They looked like they were made of spun moonlight and the finest stardust, catching every tiny sparkle from the night sky and holding onto it. Lily often wondered where these special leaves would gently drift, imagining them settling softly on quiet things. The whispering tree truly was the heart of the sleepy garden. It gathered all the soft sounds, the gentle glows, and the quiet feelings, weaving them into its very being. It felt like a giant, cozy blanket for the entire garden, keeping everything warm and safe, especially when the night grew dark and quiet. Its presence made the darkness feel friendly, not scary, and the silence feel comforting, not lonely. It was a true friend to all things sleepy, and it was always there, patiently waiting to share its gifts of peace and quiet. Lily felt a special connection to the whispering tree. It was more than just a beautiful part of her garden. It felt like a silent, understanding friend who knew just how to help little ones feel calm and ready for dreams. She knew that the tree held secrets, wonderful, gentle secrets, ready to unfurl like soft petals. And as she drifted deeper into her bed, listening to the soft sounds of the night, she felt the tree's quiet presence, a comforting hug in the stillness, gently reminding her that sleepy time was approaching. One particularly quiet evening, as Lily was snuggled deep in her warm bed, gazing out at the soft glow of the whispering tree, something truly special happened. She had been watching the tree, admiring how its shimmering leaves caught the moonlight, when she noticed a tiny, soft flicker at her windowsill. It wasn't a firefly or a moth, but something else entirely. Slowly, very, very slowly, a single, shimmering leaf from the whispering tree drifted through the air, turning gently, and settled softly, ever so softly, right on her windowsill. This leaf was unlike any other leaf Lily had ever seen. It wasn't green or brown or even yellow. It was a soft, pearly white, almost translucent, and it seemed to hum with a faint internal light. Tiny, silvery veins spread across its surface like a delicate map of moonbeams, and along its edges, the faintest shimmer of stardust sparkled, catching the light from the garden. It was so light, so delicate, that it looked as if it could float away on the softest breath, yet it stayed perfectly still on her windowsill, patiently waiting. Lily gently reached out a finger, careful not to disturb the precious leaf. It felt like velvet whispers against her skin, impossibly soft and smooth, with a faint, warm glow that seemed to spread into her fingertips. There was no roughness, no crispness, only a feeling of soothing comfort. As she touched it, a faint, sweet scent, like sleeping flowers and gentle moonlight, wafted up from the leaf, filling her little bedroom with a calming fragrance that made her feel even more sleepy and peaceful. She knew, in that gentle way that children sometimes just know things, that this leaf was a special invitation. The whispering tree, her quiet friend, was inviting her. It wasn't an invitation to go somewhere far or do something loud. It was an invitation to listen to a story, a soft story, whispered just for her, carried on the gentle hum of the tree's leaves and the warmth of the moonlight. The leaf was a silent promise of sleepy adventures wrapped in comfort and quiet. Lily gently pulled her hand back, allowing the leaf to rest undisturbed. She snuggled deeper into her blankets, her eyes still fixed on the shimmering invitation on her windowsill. The faint light from the leaf seemed to grow just a tiny bit brighter, almost as if it were winking a sleepy eye at her, encouraging her to relax and prepare for the quiet journey. She could almost hear the whispering tree humming a little louder, a steady, rhythmic sound that seemed to tell her, "Close your eyes, little one. The story is beginning." The air in her room felt softer, more magical, now that the shimmering leaf was there. It was as if a tiny piece of the magical garden had come to rest right beside her, bringing with it all the peaceful feelings of the night. The shadows in her room seemed to soften, becoming less defined, blending into the gentle glow from the window. Everything felt incredibly safe and wonderfully quiet, a perfect setting for a bedtime story that promised to be as gentle as a lullaby. Lily watched the leaf for a long, quiet moment, feeling a deep sense of peace settle over her. She imagined the whispering tree standing tall and kind in the garden, its branches reaching out, sending gentle invitations to sleepy children everywhere. She felt very special, chosen for this quiet moment, this private story. The leaf wasn't just a beautiful object. It was a connection, a soft, invisible thread stretching from her cozy bed all the way to the heart of the magical garden. She closed her eyes, and as she did, the faint glow from the leaf seemed to become even brighter behind her eyelids, painting soft, swirling colors in her mind. She breathed in the sweet, comforting scent, letting it fill her lungs and relax every part of her body. The gentle hum of the whispering tree seemed to grow clearer, no longer a distant sound, but as if it were right there in her room, weaving its quiet magic all around her. This was how the whispering tree communicated its desire to share. Not with loud calls or grand gestures, but with the softest, most delicate offering, a single shimmering leaf, a silent whisper of an invitation. It was a way of saying, if you are ready for a gentle journey, a journey of the mind and heart, then simply listen. Let your thoughts drift like this leaf, and a story will unfold. Lily understood this perfectly. She imagined the tree carefully choosing this very leaf, infusing it with its sleepiest magic, then sending it on its slow, graceful path to her window. It was a thoughtful, caring gesture, a promise of warmth and comfort. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for her quiet, wise friend in the garden. The leaf was a reminder that even in stillness, great magic could happen, and that the quietest moments often held the most beautiful gifts. As Lily drifted deeper into her cozy bed, she listened. She didn't need to hear words, not yet. She just needed to feel the quiet presence of the leaf, the soft hum of the tree, and the gentle promise of the night. The shimmering leaf was her ticket, her key to the dreamy world the whispering tree was about to unfold for her, a world of soft sounds, gentle colors, and comforting adventures. She felt her body relax completely, her muscles loosening, her breathing slowing to a soft, even rhythm. The world outside her window, with its glowing garden and the kind whispering tree, felt wonderfully close and wonderfully safe. She was ready to listen. As Lily lay in her bed, her eyes softly closed, feeling the gentle presence of the shimmering leaf on her windowsill, she began to feel a very, very soft lift. It wasn't a sudden whoosh, but a slow, gentle rise, like a feather floating on a warm breath. It felt as if her whole body was becoming lighter, softer, drifting upwards from her cozy bed. She wasn't flying in a fast or exciting way, but simply floating, slowly and calmly, feeling wonderfully secure and weightless. She imagined herself nestled on a tiny, fluffy cloud, a cloud so soft it felt like spun moonlight. This cloud wasn't white and bright, but a soft, pearly gray, almost shimmering with tiny specks of sleepy dust. It cradled her gently, moving with such grace that she barely felt any motion, just the soft sensation of drifting. The air around her felt warm and soft, like a gentle hug, carrying the faint scent of moon, blossoms from her garden. There was no wind, just a still, comforting quiet all around her. Her little cloud, so wonderfully soft, began to float towards the window, but instead of bumping into the glass, it simply glided through, as if the window itself had become a soft, shimmering veil. There was no chill, no sudden change in temperature, just the same warm, peaceful air. Lily felt a tiny, soft tingle as she passed through, like a gentle kiss on her cheek, and then she was outside, floating above her garden, right above the whispering tree. The whispering tree looked even more magnificent from this gentle height. Its shimmering leaves twinkled like 1,000 tiny night lights, each one a soft beacon of peace. The gentle hum of the tree seemed to grow clearer, a soothing, rhythmic sound that enveloped her little cloud, guiding her. It was a sound that told her, "You are safe, little one. Just float, just listen." The whole garden below glowed with a soft, warm light, making the familiar paths and sleepy flowers look even more magical. Her cloud didn't float away into the big, wide sky. Instead, it slowly, gently began to drift down, 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 right towards the very center of the whispering tree. Lily felt no fear, only a deep sense of calm curiosity. The tree seemed to open its branches just for her, creating a soft, welcoming entryway. It wasn't a dark or dense opening, but an airy, shimmering archway made of glowing leaves and soft, intertwined branches. As her cloud glided closer, Lily could see that the shimmering leaves weren't just decorative. They were alive with tiny soft lights, like little fireflies sleeping amongst the foliage. Each light pulsed gently, almost as if it were breathing in a slow, peaceful rhythm. The soft hum of the tree felt stronger here, resonating through her little cloud, making her feel even more deeply relaxed. It was the sound of pure, quiet comfort. The cloud carried her gently through the shimmering entrance, and then she was inside the whispering tree. But it wasn't dark or hollow. Oh no! The inside of the whispering tree was filled with a soft, warm light diffused through its countless shimmering leaves. It was like being inside a giant, gentle lantern where every surface glowed softly. The air inside was still and smelled wonderfully sweet, like warm honey and gentle sleep. Lily's cloud came to a soft, graceful stop, hovering just above a pathway made of light. This pathway wasn't solid, but seemed to be woven from moonbeams and starlight, swirling gently like slow-moving ribbons. It felt warm and comforting beneath her. She gently slid off her cloud, her feet barely making a sound as they touched the glowing path. She felt light and airy, as if she could float herself. All around her, the inside of the whispering tree was filled with tiny, soft sounds, the gentle hum of the tree, the faint, sleepy sighs of the leaves, and a soft, rhythmic whispering that sounded like quiet secrets being shared. There were no sharp edges, no dark corners, only soft curves and gentle glows. It felt like being wrapped in the warmest, coziest blanket woven from starlight and sleepy dreams. Lily felt a deep sense of peace settle over her, knowing that she was truly inside the heart of the whispering tree. This was where the stories were kept, where the magic of sleep was woven into soft tales. She looked around, her eyes slowly adjusting to the gentle, soft light, and felt a quiet excitement bubble up inside her, not the energetic kind, but the soft, calm kind, like a tiny, gentle spark. She was ready to listen. As Lily stood on the softly glowing pathway inside the whispering tree, her eyes slowly blinked open a little wider, taking in all the gentle wonders around her. The pathway itself seemed to ripple with soft, rainbow-like colors, shifting and blending with each tiny breath she took. It wasn't a dizzying shift, but a calm, slow dance of light, making her feel perfectly balanced and wonderfully serene. She felt as if she were walking on pure moonlight, soft and yielding beneath her tiny feet. And then, just a little way ahead, a tiny flicker caught her eye. It was a gentle, sleepy light bobbing softly in the air. As it came closer, Lily saw that it was a firefly, but not just any firefly. This one glowed with a warm, golden light softer than a candle flame, and it moved with such a slow, graceful flutter of its tiny, translucent wings. It was truly the gentlest little creature she had ever seen, radiating a soft, comforting warmth that spread through the air. The firefly drifted closer, coming to rest gently on a nearby shimmering leaf. It was small, no bigger than Lily's thumb, and its glow pulsed with a very slow, sleepy rhythm like a tiny heartbeat. Lily could see its tiny antenna twitching just a little and its little legs tucked neatly beneath its soft body. It looked very cozy and very, very peaceful. This was Flicker, the Whispering Tree's special helper. Flicker's light wasn't bright or startling. Instead, it was soft and inviting, almost like a sleepy eye winking hello. It pulsed with a calm, steady beat, a rhythm that seemed to whisper, "Welcome, little one. All is calm here." Lily felt a gentle smile spread across her face. She knew Flicker was a friend, a tiny guide in this wonderful, soft world inside the tree. Flicker gently lifted one tiny leg and pointed a shimmering glow towards a softly glowing path ahead. It wasn't a path made of the same moonbeam ribbons, but a path that seemed to be woven from faint, sleepy whispers like the air itself had taken on a soft, visible form. It seemed to undulate gently, inviting Lily to follow. Flicker then lifted off the leaf, fluttering very, very slowly, leading the way with its soft, warm glow. Lily followed Flicker, her steps light and silent on the glowing pathway. The air around them felt like a soft, warm hug, carrying the sweet scent of sleeping flowers and gentle starlight. There were no hurried movements, no sudden sounds, only the soft flutter of Flicker's wings and the faint, rhythmic hum of the whispering tree that surrounded them like a comforting cocoon. Every little thing felt just right, wonderfully peaceful. As they walked, Lily noticed tiny, glowing motes of dust floating in the air like miniature, sleepy stars. These weren't ordinary dust motes. They were stardust, collected by the whispering tree and infused with gentle dreams. They drifted slowly, catching the light from Flicker's glow, creating a beautiful, silent dance all around them. It was like being inside a very slow, very gentle snowfall of pure comfort. Flicker stopped beside a particularly large, shimmering branch that seemed to pulse with a slightly stronger glow than the others. On this branch, nestled amongst the soft, glowing leaves, were tiny, soft bundles of light. They looked like little cocoons woven from starlight and the softest dreams. Lily leaned a little closer, her eyes wide with gentle wonder, trying to understand what these beautiful, glowing bundles could be. Flicker gently landed on one of these bundles, and its glow seemed to grow just a tiny bit brighter, illuminating the soft, shimmering fabric. Lily realized that these weren't cocoons at all. They were made of the softest, most ethereal material, shimmering with all the gentle colors of the night sky, deep blues, soft purples, and faint, pearly whites. They looked impossibly soft, like woven clouds, inviting a gentle touch. Flicker gently nudged one of the bundles with its tiny glowing head, and it slowly, delicately began to unfurl. As it did, Lily saw that it was a piece of fabric, but not just any fabric. It was woven with tiny, glittering threads that looked exactly like the stardust floating in the air. The fabric shimmered with a soft, internal glow, almost as if it were breathing in the gentle light. It was the most beautiful, comforting thing Lily had ever seen. Flicker looked at Lily, its soft light pulsing in a way that seemed to say, "These are special." And Lily understood. These were the Whispering Tree's secret treasures, gathered over countless sleepy nights. These were the beginnings of the stories, the soft, magical threads from which all the comforting tales would be woven. She felt a quiet warmth spread through her chest, knowing she was about to discover something truly magical and wonderfully soothing. Flicker, the tiny firefly, gently pulsed its warm, golden light, illuminating the soft, shimmering fabric that had unfurled from the glowing bundle. Lily gazed at it with wide, gentle eyes, mesmerized by its quiet beauty. The fabric was incredibly delicate, woven with threads that seemed to be made of pure light and the softest wisps of dreams. It flowed and draped with such grace that it looked like liquid moonlight, shimmering with all the gentle colors of the night sky. Flicker then flew slowly in a gentle, circling motion around the shimmering fabric. As it did, Lily noticed something truly extraordinary. On the surface of the fabric, tiny, soft points of light began to appear, one by one. They weren't blinking or flashing quickly, but appearing very, very slowly, like tiny stars softly blossoming in the night sky. Each tiny sparkle was perfect, holding a faint, inner glow that seemed to hum with a quiet energy. Flicker seemed to be showing Lily that these were the Starry Pajamas. But they weren't pajamas to wear, not like the cozy ones Lily had at home. Oh no, these were the Whispering Tree's special way of gathering stardust and sleepy feelings from the night sky. Each tiny sparkle that appeared on the fabric was a little piece of a story, a tiny tale waiting to be told, a tiny memory of peace and quiet. Lily felt a wave of calm wash over her as she watched the sparkles slowly form on the fabric. Each one felt like a tiny, gentle thought, a soft whisper from the universe. Flicker gently landed on the shimmering fabric, its own warm glow adding to the soft constellation of lights. The combined glow was so comforting, so peaceful, that Lily felt herself relax even deeper, her shoulders softening, her breath evening out into a slow, gentle rhythm. The Whispering Tree, through Flicker, was explaining its method. It collected the softest stardust from the sleepy sky, the kind that held gentle dreams and peaceful thoughts. Then, it wove this stardust into these special starry pajamas. And as it wove, each tiny sparkle became a little pocket, holding a fragment of a quiet adventure, a moment of soothing beauty, or a feeling of deep calm. These were the ingredients for its bedtime stories. Lily imagined the tree reaching its long, gentle branches up to the sleepy night, its shimmering leaves like soft nets, catching the falling stardust. She pictured the tiny, silent sparkles gently settling on the leaves, each one a tiny wish for peaceful sleep. And then the tree would carefully, slowly weave them together, forming these magical starry pajamas, ready to share their comforting tales. Flicker then gently nudged a specific sparkle on the fabric with its glowing head. As it did, that particular sparkle began to pulse a little more brightly, and a tiny, faint image seemed to shimmer within it. It was like looking into a very, very tiny, soft dream globe. Lily leaned closer, her breath held in quiet wonder, trying to discern the picture within the sparkle. It was too soft to see clearly, but she felt a wave of pure, gentle comfort emanating from it. The feeling from the sparkle was like a warm hug, a soft pat on the head, and a quiet whisper of everything is fine, little one, you are safe. It was a feeling of profound peace, the kind that makes your eyelids heavy and your thoughts drift like soft clouds. This was what the whispering tree shared with its stories, not just adventures, but feelings of warmth, safety, and utter calm. Flicker moved its tiny glowing head to another sparkle, and this one, too, pulsed gently, releasing a different kind of soft feeling. This one felt like walking on soft grass in bare feet, a gentle tickle and a sense of freedom. Then another sparkle pulsed, and this one felt like listening to the soft purr of a very sleepy kitten, warm and comforting. Each sparkle, Flicker seemed to explain, held a unique, soothing sensation waiting to be released and experienced. The Starry Pajamas were not just beautiful to look at. They were a tapestry of calm. Every shimmering thread, every tiny sparkle held a quiet promise of comfort. Lily understood that the tree wasn't going to tell her long, complicated tales. Instead, it would unfold these feelings, these gentle images, these peaceful sensations, one by one, like soft layers of a dream, helping her to unwind and drift off to sleep. Flicker then flew up, gently circling the entire expanse of the Starry Pajamas, its warm glow dancing over all the countless sparkles. It was showing Lily the vastness of the stories, the endless supply of comfort that the whispering tree held. The hum of the tree seemed to grow a little softer, a little more rhythmic, preparing to weave the first tale from these glowing threads. Lily felt a deep, peaceful anticipation, knowing that the most soothing journey was about to begin, wrapped in the softness of the Starry Pajamas. Flicker, the tiny firefly, gently landed back on the shimmering fabric of the Starry Pajamas, its warm glow casting soft, dancing lights across the countless sparkles. Lily felt a quiet excitement, not the kind that makes you want to jump and shout, but the soft, gentle kind that makes your heart feel warm and full, like a tiny, sleepy bubble floating softly upwards. She knew with a calm certainty that the whispering tree was about to begin its first story, woven from the softest stardust and the gentlest dreams. Flicker looked at Lily, its soft light pulsing in a steady, reassuring rhythm like a sleepy heartbeat. It seemed to communicate, without any words at all, that the tree's purpose was to share quiet places and happy feelings. It was not about grand adventures or loud excitements, but about finding peace in the smallest, most comforting moments. It was about helping children like Lily feel warm and happy inside and slowly, gently drift into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. The hum of the whispering tree, which had been a gentle background sound, now seemed to become a little more prominent, a soft, vibrating melody that flowed through the air, surrounding Lily like a warm, invisible blanket. It felt like the tree was gently tuning up, preparing its voice for the most soothing lullaby. The air itself seemed to grow even softer, carrying the faint scent of moon, blossoms, and sleepy dust, making Lily's eyelids feel wonderfully heavy. Flicker then slowly, deliberately, began to trace a path across the Starry Pajamas with its soft, glowing light. It moved with such a gentle precision, selecting certain sparkles, linking them together with its guiding glow. As it did, Lily felt a sensation of warmth spreading from her toes up through her legs and into her tummy, a feeling of deep, contented relaxation. It was as if the story was already beginning to unfold, not just in her mind, but in her very body. The first sparkle flicker highlighted began to glow a little brighter, pulsing with a very, very slow beat. Within it, Lily could now faintly see a soft, blurry image. It looked like a gentle, puffy cloud drifting slowly across a pale, soft sky. The colors were incredibly muted, like a dream that was just beginning to form. All gentle blues and pearly whites. It felt impossibly light, like a feather floating on a warm breeze. Flicker then moved to another sparkle, just beside the first one, and it too began to glow. As it pulsed, Lily felt a soft, gentle purring sensation, as if a very sleepy kitten was nestled right beside her. It was a comforting, rhythmic feeling that made her chest feel warm and cozy. The two sparkles, now glowing together, seemed to connect, weaving their gentle sensations into a single, flowing feeling of peace and comfort. This was how the whispering tree told its stories. It didn't use many words, but instead painted pictures with feelings, with soft sensations, with gentle images that invited the mind to relax and drift. Each sparkle was a tiny brushstroke of peace, and Flicker was the gentle artist, carefully selecting and connecting them to create a masterpiece of calm. Lily felt herself sinking deeper into the soft, warm feeling the tree was creating. Her limbs felt loose and heavy, wonderfully relaxed. Her mind felt clear and calm, like a quiet pond reflecting the moonlight. There were no thoughts of the day, no worries, just the gentle flow of the story unfolding, carried on the soft hum of the tree and the quiet guidance of Flicker. The story was beginning, and it was about quiet places and happy feelings. It was about soft adventures, journeys that didn't require effort, only gentle surrender to the calm. The tree wanted her to feel everything soften, to let go of any tiny bits of wakefulness, and just drift on the gentle currents of its sleepy magic. Flicker continued to trace patterns on the starry pajamas, linking more and more sparkles. Each new sparkle released another soft feeling. The warmth of sunshine on sleepy fur, the gentle splash of a tiny, quiet stream, the soft rustle of leaves in a very slow breeze. It was like a symphony of calm, each note a soft sensation, weaving together to create a feeling of utter tranquility. Lily felt as if she was no longer standing in the whispering tree, but becoming a part of the soft, shimmering fabric of the starry pajamas itself. She felt connected to every gentle sparkle, every soothing feeling. The hum of the tree grew even deeper, a resonant, comforting vibration that seemed to lull her very core. She was ready for the softest adventure to unfold, ready to drift on the currents of pure, gentle sleepiness. And so, as Flicker's soft, golden glow continued to dance upon the starry bus, weaving gentle patterns, Lily felt herself being lifted, not in a fast or exciting way, but with the utmost softness. It was as if her entire being had become as light as a whisper, floating on the gentlest currents of the whispering tree's soft hum. The world around her, the inside of the tree, seemed to melt away, replaced by the softest, most tender sensation of upward movement. She wasn't on her feet anymore, nor was she on a cloud. Instead, Lily felt as though she had become part of a tiny, shimmering bubble, a bubble made of pure, soft light and sleepy air. This bubble wasn't bouncy or fragile. It was wonderfully sturdy and perfectly round, a cozy little globe of peace. It drifted slowly, oh so slowly, rising through the gentle, glowing space, carrying her gently upwards, higher and higher, but always with the utmost calm. This was the first soft adventure, a journey to the cloud, Cuddle Kitten's home. As her shimmering bubble ascended, the air around her grew even softer, feeling like the inside of a very fluffy, warm blanket. She could see faint, swirling colors outside her bubble, soft blues and purples blending seamlessly like sleepy dreams being painted across the sky. The hum of the whispering tree was still with her, a comforting, rhythmic thrum that resonated within her bubble, making her feel perfectly secure. The bubble floated through what felt like a soft, fluffy ceiling, and then Lily was in the open, but not outside in the regular way. She was in a world of clouds, but these were no ordinary clouds. These were cuddle clouds, impossibly soft and pillowy, stretching out in every direction as far as her gentle eyes could see. They weren't cold or wet. They were warm and dry like the biggest, fluffiest cotton balls imaginable, floating gently in a sky of the softest twilight. The sky above was a muted pastel, a mix of very pale pinks and sleepy lavenders, with the faintest shimmer of distant stars that looked like tiny, gentle glimmers. There was no sun, just a soft, diffused light that seemed to come from everywhere, making everything glow with a sleepy warmth. The air was still and quiet, carrying only the faintest scent of warm milk and soft fur. And then Lily saw them. Everywhere, nestled amongst the soft, billowy clouds, were cuddle kittens. They weren't running or playing fast games. Oh no, these kittens were all curled up, wonderfully relaxed, purring soft lullabies into the fluffy cloud forms. Their fur was the color of marshmallow and soft cream, impossibly fluffy and looking like tiny, perfect clouds themselves. Some kittens were stretched out, gently kneading the cloud beneath them with their soft paws. Their little claws never sharp, but soft and retractable like tiny plush buttons. Their purrs were deep and rumbling, a soft vibration that gently filled the air, making the clouds themselves hum with sleepy contentment. Other kittens were curled into perfect circles, their little noses tucked into their fluffy tails, their eyes barely open, just slits of golden light. Lily's bubble drifted closer to a particularly large, fluffy cloud where several cuddle kittens were gathered. One little kitten, with fur the color of a soft peach, was gently batting at a stray moonbeam that had floated by, its movements incredibly slow and graceful, like a dancer in a dream. Its paws were soft and round, with tiny, pink pads that looked like sleepy flower petals. Another kitten, a fluffy cream color, was gently licking its paw, its little tongue moving with the utmost slowness and precision. Its eyes were half closed, reflecting the soft glow of the clouds. Every movement was calm, every sound was soft, reinforcing the feeling of deep, quiet relaxation that permeated the entire cloud world. The purrs of the cuddle kittens were truly magical. They weren't loud or demanding. Instead, they were the softest, most rhythmic sounds Lily had ever heard. Each purr was like a tiny, gentle wave of warmth and comfort, washing over her, making her own body feel softer and more relaxed with each passing moment. It was the sound of pure contentment, a lullaby woven from happy, sleepy feelings. Lily's bubble gently settled onto the cloud, landing with the lightest touch, as if it were a feather meeting another feather. She felt the soft, yielding texture of the cloud beneath her bubble, impossibly soft and wonderfully warm. The purring of the cloud, cuddle kittens surrounded her now, a chorus of calm that made her own heart feel wonderfully peaceful. She was immersed in a world of soft fur, gentle purrs, and fluffy clouds, the perfect start to a sleepy adventure. As Lily's shimmering bubble settled onto the soft, pillowy cloud, cuddle cloud, she felt a wonderful sense of stillness. The gentle purrs of the cloud, cuddle kittens surrounded her, a continuous, soothing hum that seemed to vibrate through the very air. She gently floated out of her bubble, feeling completely weightless, her feet barely touching the cloud surface. The cloud felt like walking on the softest, deepest carpet, a carpet woven from moonbeams and sleepy sighs. She saw the cloud, cuddle kittens all around her, each one a picture of perfect, sleepy contentment. Their fur was truly extraordinary. It wasn't just fluffy. It was like holding a tiny, warm cloud in your hands. If you brushed it gently, it felt like the softest feather, and it shimmered with the faint, pearly glow of the twilight sky. Some kittens had fur the color of warm milk. Others were soft gray like a sleepy storm cloud, and some had a delicate peach hue like the first blush of a quiet dawn. One little kitten, with fur the color of soft lavender, was slowly stretching its front paws out, its body arching in a gentle, languid curve. Its movements were impossibly slow, like stretching in a dream, without any effort or hurry. After a long, luxurious stretch, it gently curled back into a tight, warm ball, its nose tucked into its tail, and let out a soft, satisfied sigh. Its purr deepened, a tiny, vibrating rumble that made the cloud beneath it quiver with sleepy happiness. Another kitten, a fluffy white one, was gently chasing a tiny moonbeam that had drifted down from the muted sky. It wasn't a fast chase, but a slow, playful dance. The moonbeam would flicker just a little, and the kitten would slowly lift a soft paw, gently tap at the light, and then slowly lower its paw again. Its eyes were half closed, gleaming with a sleepy warmth, and its tail swished ever so slowly, like a gentle pendulum of peace. Lily watched these gentle games, feeling her own breath slow down to match the calm rhythm of the kittens. The air was filled with their soft, rumbling purrs, each one a tiny lullaby. Some kittens were gathered in little huddles, gently grooming each other with slow, comforting licks. Their little sandpaper tongues felt like tiny, soft brushes, smoothing down each other's fluffy fur with exquisite care. They looked so cozy, so warm, so completely at peace. She saw a kitten with fur like spun gold gently bat at a tiny, shimmering motes of stardust that floated by. These stardust motes were like tiny, weightless sparkles, and they danced gently in the air, catching the faint glow of the clouds. The kitten would slowly reach out a paw, its claws tucked away, and gently nudge a sparkle, watching it drift away before slowly reaching for another. It was a game of pure, quiet joy, without any urgency or rush. The cloud, cuddle kittens had the sweetest, most relaxed expressions on their little faces. Their whiskers were long and delicate, twitching ever so slightly as they purred. Their ears were soft and rounded, sometimes twitching towards the softest sound, but never perking up in alarm. Everything about them spoke of deep, abiding calm, of a life lived in soft motion and gentle purrs. They were truly the masters of sleepy comfort. Lily gently reached out a hand, very, very slowly, towards a little cream-colored kitten that was purring softly nearby. The kitten slowly opened one eye, looked at her with a sleepy, trusting gaze, and then slowly stretched out a paw, letting Lily gently stroke its incredibly soft fur. It felt like touching a warm, living cloud, unbelievably soft and comforting. The kitten's purr deepened under her touch, a rhythmic vibration that filled her hand with warmth. As Lily gently stroked the kitten, she felt a wave of pure, happy sleepiness wash over her. It was as if the kitten's purr was contagious, spreading its calm rhythm through her own body. She closed her eyes for a moment, just letting the sensation of the soft fur and the gentle purr envelop her. It was a feeling of being completely safe and wonderfully loved, nestled in a world of endless softness. The whispering trees' hum seemed to intertwine with the kitten's purrs, creating a symphony of calm. It was a reminder that all this softness, all this peace, originated from the gentle heart of the tree. The cloud, cuddle kittens were simply sharing the tree's gift of peaceful slumber, purring their quiet lullabies to help every creature feel warm, cozy, and ready for the sweetest dreams. Lily felt truly blessed to be in this world of gentle, purring comfort. After spending a wonderful, soft time among the purring cloud, cuddle kittens, Lily felt wonderfully relaxed and deeply soothed. The gentle purrs still echoed in her ears, a comforting rhythm that seemed to lull her thoughts into a sleepy hum. Her shimmering bubble, which had waited patiently, gently floated back towards her, inviting her to continue her quiet journey. She stepped inside, feeling the familiar warmth and security of its soft light around her. Her bubble didn't rise, but instead began to drift downwards, slowly and gracefully. It wasn't a fast descent, but a gentle, winding path, as if it were following a lazy, sleepy current in the air. The cuddle clouds slowly drifted further away, becoming softer and softer blurs of pearly white and gentle pastels. The air grew slightly cooler, not cold, but refreshing, like a soft whisper on her cheek. As she drifted, Lily saw that the sky around her was transforming. It was no longer the soft pastel of the cloud world, but a deeper, richer blue, like the twilight just before the stars come out. And through this blue, faint, shimmering lines began to appear, weaving and swirling like gentle ribbons. These weren't solid lines, but shimmering currents made of pure light and flowing dreams. Her bubble was slowly, gently, floating down a shimmering river of dreams. This river wasn't made of water that splashed or rushed. Instead, it was a river of liquid light, flowing with impossible slowness and grace. It shimmered with all the softest colors, deep, sleepy blues, soft purples, and faint, silvery greens, blending and swirling together in a mesmerizing dance. The light from the river pulsed with a very slow, calming rhythm, like a gentle heartbeat. As her bubble floated along the river of dreams, Lily could hear a new sound, a soft, rhythmic lapping, like gentle waves against a very quiet shore. It was the sound of calm, continuous movement, a sound that made her feel even more sleepy and at peace. The air around the river carried a faint, sweet scent, like the smell of cool, smooth stones and the very softest moss, a smell that invited deep relaxation. The river wound its way through a landscape of soft, rolling hills, covered in gentle, shimmering grass that swayed ever so slowly, as if it too were dreaming. The trees on the banks were tall and slender, their leaves the color of deep twilight, and they seemed to sigh softly as the river of dreams flowed past. Everything was imbued with a quiet stillness, a feeling of deep slumber. Her bubble continued its slow, graceful journey down the shimmering river, its light reflecting beautifully on the liquid dreams around her. The current was incredibly gentle, barely noticeable, just a soft, guiding force. Lily felt herself relaxing deeper and deeper, her thoughts drifting like the soft colors on the river, flowing gently, peacefully. The journey felt long, but in the most wonderful, calming way. There was no hurry, no destination to rush to. It was all about the feeling of drifting, the soft movement, the gentle shimmer of light. Lily closed her eyes for a moment, just breathing in the calm, letting the rhythmic lapping of the dream river wash over her, soothing every part of her being. And then, very slowly, the river began to widen. The soft hills on its banks seemed to draw closer, forming gentle, embracing curves. Ahead, Lily saw a faint, welcoming glow emanating from a sheltered area. It was not a bright glow, but a very soft, warm light, like sunlight filtered through thick, sleepy leaves. This was the sparkling stone Sleepy Otter's Cove. Her bubble gently floated towards the opening of the cove, moving with the slow and deliberate grace of a boat being pulled by an invisible, gentle rope. The air here was slightly different, filled with the faint, comforting scent of warm, smooth stones and fresh, clean water. The rhythmic lapping of the dream river became softer, almost a whisper, as her bubble drew nearer to the peaceful cove. Lily felt a wave of gentle anticipation. She wondered what the sleepy otters would be like and what quiet, comforting things they would be doing. The thought filled her with a soft warmth, like a cozy blanket being pulled up to her chin. The whispering trees' hum was still with her, a constant, soothing presence, reminding her that this adventure, like all the others, was about peace, comfort, and the gentle journey towards sleep. As Lily's shimmering bubble glided gently into the sparkling stone Sleepy Otter's Cove, she felt an even deeper sense of calm settle over her. The cove was a beautiful, peaceful place, sheltered by gently curving rock formations that glowed with a soft, warm light. The shimmering river of dreams flowed into a wide, still pool within the cove, its surface like a perfectly smooth mirror, reflecting the soft, diffused light from above. Lily's bubble settled with a soft, almost imperceptible landing on the banks of the pool, which were covered in smooth, rounded stones. These stones weren't cold or hard. They were warm and wonderfully soft to the touch, like giant, polished pebbles that had soaked up all the gentle warmth of the moonbeams. They glowed faintly with a soft, comforting light, casting sleepy shadows that danced very, very slowly. And there they were, the sleepy otters. They weren't darting or splashing. Oh no! These otters were moving with the utmost grace and slowness, their fur the color of warm, polished stones, shimmering with a faint, silvery sheen when they moved. They had soft, rounded bodies and gentle faces with tiny, dark, sleepy eyes that seemed to hold all the peaceful secrets of the cove. The sleepy otters had a very special activity. They loved to gather the smooth, warm stones from the banks of the dream river and arrange them into comforting patterns. One otter with soft brown fur was carefully nudging a purely white stone with its nose, guiding it into a perfect spiral pattern. Its movements were incredibly deliberate, each nudge slow and precise, as if it were arranging tiny, precious treasures. Another otter, a little smaller, was gently balancing a stack of flat, warm stones, one on top of the other, making a little tower of peace. Its paws moved with such delicate slowness, placing each stone with infinite care. The soft click of stone against stone was barely audible, a gentle, rhythmic sound that seemed to blend with the quiet hum of the cove, adding to the feeling of deep tranquility. Lily watched, mesmerized, as the otters worked. They weren't building anything grand or tall, just small, comforting arrangements, like tiny, sleepy sculptures. Some otters were arranging stones into gentle circles, others into soft waves, and still others into simple, reassuring lines. Each pattern seemed designed to soothe the eye and quiet the mind, inviting a feeling of complete relaxation. The stones themselves felt warm and smooth, holding a stored warmth that radiated out, making the air in the cove feel wonderfully cozy. Lily imagined holding one of these stones, feeling its gentle heat seep into her hands, carrying away any tiny worries, leaving only a sense of calm behind. The otter seemed to be infusing the stones with this peaceful energy, making them even more comforting. The sleepy otters had the gentlest expressions on their faces. Their whiskers twitched slowly, sensing the calm currents of the dream river. They communicated with soft, little murmurs, gentle chuffs that sounded like tiny, sleepy sighs. They would sometimes gently nudge each other with their noses, a silent gesture of comfort and shared peace, before returning to their quiet work. Lily saw one otter gently pick up a small, shimmering stone that glowed with a soft blue light. It held the stone in its paws for a long, quiet moment, turning it slowly as if admiring its inner light. Then, with a soft, careful movement, it placed the stone in the very center of a spiral it had just finished, completing the pattern with a final, comforting touch. The blue glow from the stone seemed to spread, bathing the entire spiral in a calming light. The otter's work was a beautiful, silent dance of peace. They created patterns that were not meant to be looked at quickly, but to be gazed upon slowly, letting the eyes trace the gentle curves, allowing the mind to relax and become still. It was like a form of silent meditation, a quiet way of arranging beauty to help soothe worries away, leaving only quiet contentment. Lily felt a deep sense of peace watching them. The rhythmic placement of the stones, the soft chuffs of the otters, and the gentle glow of the patterned stones all combined to create an atmosphere of profound tranquility. She felt her own thoughts slowing down, like the soft flow of the dream river becoming clearer and calmer with each gentle breath. This was a place where worries truly did melt away, leaving only the warmth of smooth stones and the peaceful presence of the sleepy otters. After her peaceful time with the sleepy otters and their comforting stone patterns, Lily's shimmering bubble gently lifted from the warm banks of the cove. It ascended with the utmost slowness, not rushing, but floating with a serene grace. The soft glow of the arranged stones slowly faded below, becoming gentle, twinkling pinpricks of light as her bubble rose higher and higher. The rhythmic chuffs of the otters slowly grew fainter, melting into the soft, sleepy silence as her bubble floated upwards. The deep twilight blue of the sky around her began to soften. It gradually transitioned into lighter, warmer shades, like the sleepy colors of a dawn that was still dreaming. Pale greens and soft yellows started to appear, mingling with the last lingering purples. The air grew slightly warmer, carrying a new, sweet scent like gentle honey and the faintest hint of a happy, sleepy sigh. Her bubble drifted through a soft, shimmering veil that seemed to shimmer with gentle giggles. It wasn't a loud or startling sound, but a very, very soft, almost musical bubbling, like tiny, happy whispers playing hide and seek. Lily felt a tiny, warm tickle in her tummy, a feeling of gentle amusement, as if the air itself was smiling. This was the entrance to the Giggle Leaf Forest. The bubble settled very gently onto a carpet of soft, springy moss that stretched out beneath towering trees. These weren't ordinary trees. Their leaves weren't green, but a soft, translucent gold, and they shimmered with a gentle internal light. And on the underside of many of these leaves, Lily saw tiny glowing droplets. These were not dew drops. These were sleepy giggles. All around her, Lily saw tiny, shy imps. They were no bigger than her thumb, with delicate, almost invisible wings that fluttered very, very slowly, making no sound at all. Their bodies shimmered with a faint, iridescent glow, and their faces were sweet and innocent with tiny, soft smiles. They moved with a remarkable gentleness, almost floating as they went about their quiet work. The imps had a very special job in the Giggle Leaf Forest. They collected the sleepy giggles that formed on the underside of the glowing leaves and inside the sleepy flowers. These giggles weren't loud, burst out laughs, but the soft, gentle chuckles that children sometimes make in their sleep, tiny bubbles of pure, contented happiness. One little imp, with wings like spun starlight, was gently hovering beneath a particularly large, glowing leaf. Very slowly, it extended a tiny, delicate hand, and with the utmost care, it gently nudged a shimmering droplet of sleepy giggle. The droplet trembled, then slowly detached, floating gracefully into a tiny, soft, glowing basket that the imp carried. Its movements were so precise, so tender, that it was like watching a delicate dance. Another imp was carefully peering into the bell of a sleepy, luminous flower that glowed with a soft, internal light. Inside the flower, a faint, bubbly sound could be heard like tiny, happy murmurs. The imp waited patiently, its body perfectly still, until a tiny, shimmering giggle. Bubble gently floated out from the flower. It then delicately scooped the bubble into its basket, its tiny face radiating a quiet satisfaction. The air in the giggle leaf forest was filled with these soft, bubbly sounds, a constant, gentle symphony of sleepy happiness. It was the sound of contentment, of dreams being gently tickled. Lily felt herself smiling softly, a warm, sleepy smile that reached her eyes. She imagined how wonderful it must feel to have these gentle giggles bubbling around you, like tiny, happy secrets. The imps never rushed. Their tiny wings fluttered with the utmost slowness, carrying them from leaf to leaf, from flower to flower, collecting each sleepy giggle with a quiet reverence. They knew how precious these tiny bubbles of happiness were, and they handled them with infinite care, as if each giggle held a tiny, fragile dream. Lily felt incredibly calm and soothed by the imp's gentle work. The soft glow of the leaves, the quiet fluttering of the tiny wings, and the continuous, gentle bubbling of these sleepy giggles all combined to create an atmosphere of pure, undisturbed peace. It was a place where happiness was quiet, where joy was a gentle whisper, and where every sound was a lullaby. As Lily watched the tiny, shy imps in the giggle leaf forest, collecting their shimmering, sleepy giggles, she noticed something truly wonderful. The imps weren't just collecting the giggles in their soft, glowing baskets. They were doing something even more magical with them. One little imp, with wings that shimmered like a dragonfly's, carefully scooped a handful of these glowing giggle droplets from its basket. Then, with the utmost slowness and precision, it gently blew upon them. It wasn't a strong puff of air, but the softest, most delicate breath, like a tiny whisper. And as it blew, the sleepy giggles transformed. They slowly, gracefully, began to float upwards, forming into gentle, floating bubbles. These weren't ordinary bubbles that popped quickly. Oh no. These were dream bubbles, impossibly soft and iridescent, shimmering with all the colors of a quiet rainbow. They moved with incredible slowness, drifting languidly through the golden light of the giggle leaf forest, each one a tiny, transparent sphere of pure, happy calm. Each dream bubble held within it a tiny, soft flicker of light, and Lily instinctively knew that this light was a sweet dream. The imps were using the sleepy giggles to make gentle, floating bubbles that carried the sweetest dreams to sleepy children everywhere. It was their way of sharing the quiet joy and contentment of the giggle leaf forest with the sleeping world. Lily watched, mesmerized, as more and more imps began to create these dream bubbles. They would gather the giggles, blow their softest breaths, and then watch as the shimmering bubbles slowly formed and drifted upwards. The air became filled with these gentle, luminous spheres, floating silently amongst the golden leaves, a silent, beautiful dance of dreams taking flight. The sounds in the forest were still soft and gentle, the faint, bubbly murmurs of the giggles, the almost imperceptible flutter of the imp's wings, and now the softest, most ethereal hum that seemed to come from the dream bubbles themselves as they drifted. It was a symphony of quiet, a melody that made your heart feel full of soft, sleepy happiness. One little imp, with a particularly delicate touch, blew a dream, bubble that was slightly larger than the others. Within it, Lily could see a faint, swirling image of a child snuggled in a cozy bed, a soft smile on their face. It was a dream of peaceful sleep, a vision of deep contentment. Wrapped in the shimmering embrace of the bubble, this was the kind of dream the imps nurtured. The dream bubbles were so light, so wonderfully buoyant, that they seemed to float effortlessly, rising slowly towards the canopy of the giggle, leaf trees. As they reached the very top, they would gently merge with the soft, glowing light that filtered down, becoming part of the shimmering air itself, ready to drift further into the sleepy night and find their way to a waiting child's dreams. Lily felt a warmth spread through her chest as she watched. The imps were so dedicated, so gentle in their work, ensuring that every dream bubble was perfect, filled with the purest, softest sleepy feelings. They were like tiny, benevolent dream weavers spinning happiness into shimmering spheres of light. It was a quiet, profound act of kindness, performed in the most gentle way imaginable. She imagined one of these dream bubbles drifting all the way to her own window, perhaps settling softly on her windowsill, just like the shimmering leaf from the whispering tree. She pictured herself breathing in the soft, happy feelings from the bubble, letting them fill her mind with peaceful images and quiet contentment. It was a comforting thought, connecting her deeply to the gentle magic of this forest. The entire giggle, leaf forest pulsed with a soft, happy energy, not loud or boisterous, but a deep, quiet joy that permeated every shimmering leaf and every floating dream bubble. It was a place where happiness was nurtured and shared in the gentlest way possible, reminding Lily that even the smallest, quietest actions could bring the greatest comfort. As Lily's bubble prepared to gently lift again, she took one last look at the imps and their shimmering dream bubbles. The image of the soft, floating spheres, each carrying a precious piece of peaceful slumber, imprinted itself deeply in her mind. It was a beautiful, soothing sight that promised sweet dreams and gentle rest. She felt herself becoming softer, lighter, ready for the next gentle adventure, carried on the quiet wings of sleep. After the soft, bubbly wonders of the giggle, leaf forest, Lily's shimmering bubble gently lifted, very, very slowly, leaving behind the floating dream bubbles and the quiet, diligent imps. The golden light of the forest gradually softened, becoming a faint, pearly glow as her bubble ascended higher. The sweet, honeyed scent of sleepy giggles slowly faded, replaced by the faint, comforting smell of warm earth and quiet forest air. Her bubble drifted through a layer of soft, hazy mist, a mist that felt like the gentlest breath against her skin. It wasn't cold or damp, but warm and comforting, as if woven from sleepy sighs. Through the mist, Lily could see a landscape slowly unfurling beneath her, a landscape of rolling, gentle slopes covered in lush, deep green trees. This was the soft Glow Mountain, and her bubble was drifting towards its peaceful embrace. The mountain wasn't jagged or steep. Instead, it rose in graceful, rounded curves, its peak gently touching the soft, twilight sky. It seemed to glow from within, radiating a warm, soft light that was like the last embers of a perfectly peaceful day. The trees on its slopes were tall, and wise, their branches reaching out like welcoming arms, covered in soft, velvety moss that shimmered faintly. As her bubble gently descended towards the mountain, Lily began to hear a new sound. It wasn't loud, but a very deep, very soft rumble, like a distant, contented sigh. It was the sound of the sleepy bears. This was a place where sleepy bears prepared their honey, warm dens for the long, cozy sleep of winter. Everything here hummed with a feeling of deep, contented rest. Her bubble landed with the softest touch on a wide, mossy ledge on the mountain. The moss was impossibly soft, like a plush carpet, and it radiated a gentle warmth that seeped into Lily's feet. The air was wonderfully still, carrying the comforting scent of pine needles, warm earth, and a faint, sweet hint of honey. All around her, Lily saw the entrances to the bears' dens. These weren't dark or scary caves. Oh no, these were cozy, inviting openings lined with soft, glowing moss and gently draped with thick, plush vines. Each den entrance seemed to breathe out a warmth, a comforting promise of deep, peaceful slumber. And then Lily saw the sleepy bears. They were large, but incredibly gentle, their fur the color of warm, dark honey and soft, dusky brown. They moved with a slow, deliberate grace, their big, soft paws barely making a sound on the mossy ground. Their eyes were half closed, gleaming with a sleepy contentment, and their breath was slow and deep, like the soft rhythm of the mountain itself. One large bear, with fur like a patch of moonlit forest, was gently nudging a pile of the softest, fluffiest leaves towards the entrance of its den. Its movements were so slow, so deliberate, that it seemed to be performing a gentle dance. Its nose twitched slightly, sniffing the comforting scent of the leaves, and it let out a soft, rumbling sigh that vibrated through the air, full of sleepy satisfaction. Another bear, a slightly smaller one, was arranging soft, thick branches inside its den, creating a cozy bed. It would gently pick up a branch, turn it slowly, and then settle it into place with the utmost care. The sounds were muted and soft, just the gentle rustle of leaves and branches, blending into the pervasive hum of the mountain. Lily noticed that the bears were not hurried or stressed. There was no urgency in their movements, only a deep, quiet focus on making their dens perfectly warm and inviting for their long winter slumber. They seemed to savor every moment of preparation, knowing that each soft leaf and every warm branch contributed to the perfect, peaceful rest. The air around the dens was filled with the soft, rumbling sighs of the bears, a deep, comforting sound that resonated through the earth and up into Lily's own body. It was a sound that told her everything was safe, everything was winding down, and that the promise of deep, restoring sleep was drawing very, very near. As Lily stood on the soft, mossy ledge of the soft, glow mountain, surrounded by the gentle presence of the sleepy bears, she felt a profound sense of warmth and comfort. The air was filled with the deep, rhythmic sighs of the bears as they prepared their dens, a sound that resonated deep within her, lulling her further into peaceful relaxation. She felt wonderfully safe and cozy in this haven of slumber. The bears had a special gift they loved to share, a gift that amplified the warmth and comfort of their honey, warm dens. They loved to share their fluffiest blankets. These weren't ordinary blankets. They were woven from the softest, warmest mosses and the finest, gentlest fur, imbued with the deep, comforting warmth of the earth. They felt like holding a cloud that had been warmed by gentle sunshine. One bear, a large, gentle one with fur like a dusky forest, slowly emerged from its den, carrying a large, impossibly fluffy blanket draped over its arm. The blanket was the color of soft, creamy honey and seemed to shimmer with a faint, internal warmth. The bear moved with the utmost slowness, its head bowed in a sleepy, thoughtful way. As it approached Lily's spot, the bear gently extended a huge, soft paw, offering the blanket to Lily. Its eyes, which were almost closed, gleamed with a deep, quiet kindness. Lily reached out her hands very, very slowly and took the blanket. It was even softer and warmer than she had imagined, wrapping around her with a gentle hug, instantly making her feel even more sleepy and secure. The scent of warm earth and sweet honey enveloped her, making her breath slow to a deep, peaceful rhythm. As Lily cuddled the fluffy blanket, the bears began to tell quiet stories. They didn't use loud words or exciting adventures. Instead, they told stories of warm caves and cozy naps. Their voices were deep and rumbling, like the softest thunder, but their words were gentle whispers, barely audible, designed to lull and soothe. One bear began its story. Once upon a time, beneath a mountain just like this, a little bear found the perfect cave. The cave was warm and dry, and sunlight filtered through a tiny opening, making soft, dancing patterns on the walls. The little bear gathered the softest leaves and the fluffiest moss, making a bed so soft it felt like floating, and there it curled up, feeling the warmth of the earth, and drifted into the deepest, most peaceful sleep, dreaming of sweet berries and gentle breezes. Another bear, with fur the color of rich, dark chocolate, picked up the story with a slow, contented sigh. And in that dream, the little bear felt the softest blanket, just like the one you hold, wrapping around its tiny paws. It felt completely safe, completely loved, and completely warm. The air in the cave was filled with the scent of pine and the gentle hum of the mountain. And every breath the little bear took was a sigh of perfect contentment, sinking deeper and deeper into slumber. The stories were simple, filled with repeating phrases and comforting images. They spoke of the joy of quiet stillness, the warmth of a snug bed, and the deep peace that comes with rest. The bear spoke very, very slowly, pausing between each whispered word, allowing the gentle meaning to sink in like soft rain on sleepy earth. Their deep, rumbling voices resonated through Lily's body, vibrating with warmth and calm. Lily wrapped the fluffy blanket tighter around her, feeling its comforting weight and its gentle warmth. The bear's stories were like a warm, comforting hug, each word a soft pillow for her mind. She felt her eyelids growing heavier and heavier, her body sinking deeper into the soft moss, feeling completely secure and loved. The soft glow mountain felt like the ultimate sanctuary of sleep, a place where everything was preparing for a long, peaceful rest. The bears, with their generous blankets and their soothing stories, were the perfect guardians of this deep slumber. Lily felt a profound gratitude for their gentle kindness, knowing that the warmth and peace of this place would stay with her long after she left. After the profoundly comforting stories and the warm embrace of the fluffy blanket on soft Glow Mountain, Lily's shimmering bubble gently lifted again, very, very slowly. The soft, rumbling sighs of the sleepy bears and the deep, warm feeling of their stories slowly faded behind her. The mountain, with its gentle glow, became a soft, dark silhouette against the ever softer sky. Her bubble drifted downward, not fast, but with the utmost care, descending through layers of cooling air. The sky above changed once more, from the soft twilight of the mountain to a deeper, more profound blue, like the quiet stillness of midnight, just beginning to settle. The air carried a new, faint scent, fresh and clean, like gentle water and soft, whispering reeds. As her bubble floated lower, Lily saw a vast, shimmering expanse beneath her. It was the gentle pond, a body of water so perfectly still and calm that its surface reflected the soft glow of the sky like a giant, peaceful mirror. There were no ripples, no waves, just a serene, unmoving surface that seemed to hold all the quiet dreams of the night. Her bubble settled with the softest sigh onto a large, shimmering leaf that floated upon the surface of the gentle pond. This wasn't just any leaf. It was a lily pad, but larger and more luminous than any lily had ever seen, glowing with a soft, pearly light. It was her very own leaf boat, sturdy and wonderfully buoyant, rocking ever so gently, barely a sway. The leaf boat began to glide across the surface of the gentle pond, pulled by an invisible, gentle current. It moved with such incredible slowness that it felt more like drifting than sailing. Lily felt wonderfully safe and secure on her leaf boat, cradled by its soft, glowing surface as it moved silently across the still water. The water of the gentle pond was incredibly clear, so clear that Lily could see the smooth, dark pebbles at the bottom and the long, graceful stems of the sleeping water plants swaying ever so slightly. Tiny, soft lights shimmered from beneath the surface, like sleeping jewels scattered on the pond floor, adding to the pervasive feeling of calm. And then Lily began to hear a new sound. It wasn't a loud buzzing, but a very, very soft, rhythmic hum, like a tiny, gentle melody being played on a very small, delicate instrument. It was the sound of humming dragonflies, and they were everywhere, flitting slowly, gently, just above the surface of the gentle pond. These dragonflies were magnificent. Their wings were gossamer, thin and translucent, shimmering with all the softest colors of the twilight, deep purples, soft blues, and faint, silvery greens. They moved with an impossible grace, their delicate bodies drifting through the air with slow, deliberate flutters, as if they were dancing in a dream. They were quite large, much larger than any dragonfly Lily had ever seen, making their slow, graceful movements even more striking. The humming dragonflies weren't chasing anything or flying in circles. They were simply drifting, their wings moving with a constant, soft hum that resonated through the still air. Each hum was perfectly pitched, a steady, rhythmic vibration that felt incredibly soothing. It was a sound that seemed to quiet the mind, to smooth out any tiny ripples of wakefulness and invite deep, peaceful rest. Lily's leaf boat drifted closer to a cluster of humming dragonflies. One with wings like spun moonlight slowly hovered just above the water, its long, slender body pulsing with a soft inner glow. Its hum was deep and resonant, a continuous, comforting sound that seemed to fill the air around it. It was like a living, breathing lullaby. The dragonfly's hum felt like a gentle message for her ears, a constant, rhythmic vibration that made her entire body feel wonderfully calm. It was a sound that told her everything was in harmony, everything was quiet, and that this was a place for pure, undisturbed rest. Lily felt herself sinking deeper into the soft comfort of her leaf boat, her eyelids feeling wonderfully heavy. As Lily's leaf boat continued to glide across the perfectly still surface of the gentle pond, she was enveloped by the constant, soft humming of the dragonflies. It was a sound that seeped into every part of her, smoothing out any tiny kinks of wakefulness and making her feel utterly, profoundly calm. The hum was steady and rhythmic, like a gentle, unseen current flowing through the air, carrying all worries away. The humming dragonflies were truly remarkable. Their large, translucent wings fluttered with an almost imperceptible motion, creating the deep, resonant hum that filled the quiet pond. They were not fast or darting like regular dragonflies. Instead, they drifted slowly, deliberately, their long, graceful bodies glowing with faint, internal lights that pulsed in time with their hum. Some glowed soft blue, some gentle green, and others a warm, pearly white. One dragonfly, with wings like finely spun glass, gently hovered just above a cluster of soft, glowing water lilies. Its hum was particularly deep and resonant, a steady, comforting vibration that seemed to make the very air shimmer around it. Lily watched as the water lilies slowly unfurled their petals, drawn open by the soothing hum, revealing their soft, glowing centers. It was as if the hum helped everything around it relax and open up to peace. The dragonflies seemed to be performing a quiet, important task. Their humming was not just a sound, it was a gentle force, a vibration that helped everything feel calm and still. It seemed to encourage the water to remain perfectly unmoving, the airs to stay perfectly soft, and all the tiny pond creatures to settle into their deepest, most peaceful slumber. Their hum was the very essence of tranquility. Lily felt the hum deep in her bones, a gentle, comforting vibration that made her feel wonderfully rooted, yet incredibly light at the same time. It was a paradox of peace. Her breath naturally synced with the dragonfly's rhythm, becoming slow, deep, and utterly relaxed. Each inhale felt like breathing in calm, and each exhale felt like breathing out any lingering tension. The leaf boat continued its slow, quiet journey across the pond. The water below was like black velvet, absorbing all sound and light, making the hum of the dragonflies even more prominent and soothing. Lily could see her reflection, soft and blurry in the still surface, shimmering faintly with the glow of the leaf boat and the dancing lights of the dragonflies. Her reflection looked wonderfully peaceful. Sometimes, a dragonfly would gently land on the edge of her leaf boat, its tiny feet making no sound at all. It would sit for a moment, its wings vibrating with a soft hum, its sleepy eyes gazing out at the still pond. Then, With a gentle flutter, it would lift off again, drifting back into the soft, humming tapestry of the air. These brief encounters filled Lily with a quiet wonder, a feeling of being truly connected to the gentle magic of the pond. The entire gentle pond seemed to be a giant, humming lullaby. The soft glow from the water, the still air, and the continuous, soothing hum of the dragonflies all combined to create a sanctuary of profound peace. It was a place where busy thoughts gently quieted, where restless feelings simply melted away, leaving only a sense of deep, abiding calm. Lily closed her eyes for a moment, letting the hum wash over her, feeling its gentle power to soothe and relax. She imagined the hum traveling far and wide, touching every sleepy corner of the world, bringing peace to every child who listened. It was a comforting thought, connecting her to a vast, invisible network of calm. The whispering tree's hum, which was always a gentle presence, seemed to intertwine perfectly with the dragonfly's hum, creating a double layer of serenity. It was a reminder that all these gentle adventures, all these peaceful sounds, were part of the same grand, comforting story, designed to guide her softly into the deepest, most wonderful slumber. She felt herself drifting effortlessly on the waves of pure, rhythmic calm. As the rhythmic hum of the dragonflies slowly began to fade behind her, Lily's shimmering bubble gently lifted from the perfectly still surface of the gentle pond. The leaf boat, her cozy vessel, slowly became smaller below, its soft glow disappearing into the reflective surface of the water. The deeper blue of the pond sky began to lighten once more, shifting to soft, warm purples and gentle, sleepy pinks, like the earliest hints of a peaceful dawn. Her bubble drifted upwards, but not high. It moved laterally, gliding through the soft, warm air, which was now filled with a new, delicate scent. It was the smell of tiny, sweet flowers and warm, sun-kissed earth, incredibly gentle and inviting. Lily felt a faint tickle on her skin, like the softest touch of butterfly wings, and a whisper that felt like a gentle breeze. This was the whisper, Winged Butterfly Meadow. Her bubble settled very, very softly onto a carpet of glowing, soft grass. The grass was unlike any Lily had ever seen. It was a pale, luminous green, and each blade seemed to glow with a tiny, internal light, making the entire meadow shimmer like a field of sleeping emeralds. It felt incredibly soft and springy beneath her feet, like walking on a giant, comforting cushion. And everywhere, gracefully drifting through the air, were the winged butterflies. They were large, much larger than ordinary butterflies, with wings that were thin and translucent, like stained glass made of starlight. Their colors were incredibly soft and muted pale blues, gentle yellows, and soft, pearly whites blending seamlessly. They moved with an almost ethereal slowness, their wings fluttering so gently they made no sound at all, only a faint, rhythmic pulse in the air. These butterflies had a very special purpose. They gently fanned quiet breezes. It wasn't a strong wind, but the softest, most delicate movement of air, barely perceptible. Their wings, when they fluttered slowly, created these little pockets of calm, little currents of peace that drifted through the meadow, carrying gentle thoughts and sleepy feelings. One butterfly, with wings like spun silver, slowly drifted past Lily. Its wings moved with an almost imperceptible rhythm, fanning a breeze so soft it felt like a caress. Lily felt the faintest whisper against her cheek, and a feeling of warmth and contentment spread through her. It was as if the butterfly was gently stroking her face, wishing her the sweetest dreams. Another butterfly, with wings patterned like tiny, sleepy stars, gently landed on a tall, glowing flower. It paused for a long, quiet moment, its wings slowly fanning, creating a soft, rhythmic wave of air around the flower. The flower seemed to sigh with contentment, its petals slowly unfurling just a tiny bit more, releasing an even sweeter, sleepier scent into the air. The entire winged butterfly meadow was filled with these quiet breezes, a silent, flowing symphony of calm. The air was always moving, but with such incredible gentleness that it never felt restless, only incredibly peaceful. It was the kind of breeze that seemed to smooth out all worries, leaving only a sense of quietude and inner peace. Lily watched the butterflies with a deep sense of wonder. Their movements were so graceful, so unhurried, that they seemed to float through time itself. They were masters of gentle motion, using their beautiful wings to create waves of tranquility that washed over the entire meadow, inviting all creatures to settle into their deepest, most peaceful rest. The glow from the grass and the flowers, combined with the soft, shimmering wings of the butterflies, created a truly magical light in the meadow. It was a soft, dreamlike illumination that made everything seem slightly hazy and wonderfully comforting. There were no sharp shadows, only soft blurs of light and color, like a painting made entirely of gentle thoughts. Lily felt herself sinking deeper into the feeling of profound calm. The soft, fanning breezes of the butterflies, the gentle glow of the meadow, and the pervasive stillness all combined to create a perfect cocoon of peace. She felt her eyelids growing heavier, her thoughts drifting like the softest of clouds, carried on the gentle currents of the butterfly wings. This was a place where every breath was a sigh of contentment. As Lily lingered in the winged butterfly meadow, surrounded by the soft, fanning breezes of the gentle butterflies, she realized something truly extraordinary about these delicate currents of air. These weren't just simple breezes that stirred the leaves. Oh no! These gentle breezes carried whispers of happy memories and peaceful thoughts. When a butterfly with wings like a soft sunset slowly fanned past Lily, she felt the faintest whisper against her ear. It wasn't a sound she could understand with words, but a feeling that bloomed in her mind. It was the soft warmth of her favorite cozy blanket, the gentle tickle of her mother's goodnight kiss, the quiet joy of finding a perfectly smooth pebble on the beach. These were happy memories, gently released into the air by the butterflies. Another butterfly, its wings shimmering with all the soft colors of a quiet rainbow, drifted slowly over a patch of glowing flowers. As its wings fanned, Lily felt a peaceful thought float into her mind. It was the thought of deep, quiet rest, of dreaming only sweet dreams, of waking up feeling perfectly refreshed. It was a feeling of utter tranquility, a silent promise of complete calm. The butterflies seemed to be collecting these happy memories and peaceful thoughts, from the sleepy air itself, or perhaps they gently drew them from the slumbering earth. Then, with the slow, rhythmic flutter of their whisper wings, they gently fanned them outwards, releasing them into the meadow for all to feel and be soothed by. It was their quiet, benevolent work, spreading comfort and peace. Lily closed her eyes for a moment, letting the whisper breezes wash over her. She felt a delightful sense of lightness, as if every tiny worry or busy thought was being gently lifted away, replaced by these soft, comforting memories and peaceful feelings. It was like her mind was being gently dusted with kindness, leaving it clear and serene, ready for deep sleep. The entire wing butterfly meadow felt like a giant, living repository of happy memories and peaceful thoughts. Every fluttering wing, every gentle breeze, every soft glow from the grass and flowers contributed to this pervasive atmosphere of calm and contentment. It was a place where only the gentlest, most soothing sensations existed, cradling the mind in soft tranquility. Lily watched as a particularly large butterfly, with wings the color of deep, sleepy lavender, slowly fanned its wings near a tall, shimmering tree. As it did, Lily felt a powerful sense of warmth and security, like being held in a loving hug. It was the feeling of being completely safe, completely protected, and completely loved. A deeply comforting memory that brought a soft smile to her face. The whisper breezes were consistent, a continuous, gentle flow of serenity. They never felt overwhelming or jarring. Instead, they were like a constant, soft caress, always there, always soothing, always inviting a deeper sense of relaxation. Lily felt her body becoming even softer, melting into the luminous grass beneath her feet. She imagined the whisper breezes traveling beyond the meadow, carrying these precious feelings to sleepy children all over the world, settling on their windowsills, gently brushing their cheeks, filling their bedrooms with comfort. It was a beautiful thought, connecting her to a vast, invisible network of peace and quiet. The hum of the whispering tree, which was always a gentle anchor, seemed to gently intertwine with the whisper breezes, creating a harmonious blend of sound and feeling. It was a subtle reminder that all these gentle experiences were connected, part of the same magical, comforting story designed to lull her softly into the deepest, most wonderful slumber. She felt herself drifting effortlessly on waves of pure, comforting peace. As Lily soaked in the last of the happy memories and peaceful thoughts carried on the whisper breezes of the wing butterfly meadow, a soft, subtle change began to happen. The shimmering glow of the grass and flowers, which had been so luminous, began to soften, becoming fainter and more diffused, like the last embers of a perfectly peaceful dream. The gentle flutter of the butterfly's wings became even slower, their movements more languid, almost as if they, too, were preparing for sleep. Lily felt a gentle pull, a very, very soft sensation, as if her shimmering bubble was gently beckoning her. It wasn't an urgent pull, but a loving, soft invitation, letting her know that the adventures, the quiet, comforting journeys, were gently coming to a close. She stepped back into her bubble, feeling its familiar, cozy embrace around her, a perfect sphere of peace. Her bubble didn't rise or drift sideways this time. Instead, it slowly, gracefully, began to float downwards, following a path that felt both familiar and wonderfully new. It wasn't a fast descent, but a languid, winding spiral, as if it were following the gentle curves of a sleepy seashell. The soft scent of the meadow, with its sweet flowers and warm earth, gradually faded, replaced by the faint, comforting smell of soft moonlight and the familiar, deep hum of the whispering tree. As she drifted, Lily could see glimpses of the gentle places she had visited, the soft, pillowy cuddle clouds, now looking like distant, shimmering blankets. The tranquil surface of the gentle pond, now a vast, still mirror, and the soft, glowing peak of the soft, glow mountain fading into the sleepy distance. Each glimpse brought a tiny, warm feeling of contentment, a soft echo of the peace she had found there. The hum of the whispering tree grew steadily stronger, enveloping her bubble, making her feel wonderfully secure and profoundly loved. It was a continuous, rhythmic vibration that resonated deep within her, a sound that was the very essence of home and comfort. It was the sound of her quiet friend, patiently waiting for her return. Ready to wrap her in its gentle slumber, Lily felt incredibly warm and peaceful inside. The gentle sights, the soft sounds, and the comforting feelings of her journey had wrapped around her like a soft blanket. She carried with her the memory of the cloud, cuddle kittens' purrs, the sleepy otter's comforting stone patterns, the giggle, leaf imp's dreamy bubbles, the sleepy bear's warm blankets and quiet stories, and the humming dragonflies and whisper winged butterflies. Each memory was a soft, glowing ember, adding to the warmth within her. Her bubble continued its slow, winding descent, feeling more and more like a gentle dream itself. The outside world, the vastness of the night, slowly began to give way to the comforting, enclosed space of the whispering tree. She could see the soft, shimmering leaves of the tree drawing closer, their faint internal lights glowing like countless tiny welcoming beacons. The air around her grew sweeter, filled with the familiar, gentle scent of moon blossoms and sleepy dust that belonged uniquely to the whispering tree. It was the scent of pure, unadulterated comfort, telling her that she was nearly home, nearly nestled in the quiet heart of the sleepy garden. Lily felt a deep, soft sigh escape her, a sigh of utter contentment. She was not tired in a weary way, but sleepy in the most wonderful, relaxed way. Her body felt soft and heavy, her muscles loose and warm. Her mind was clear and calm, filled only with the gentle echoes of her adventures. There were no thoughts of anything loud or jarring, only the soft, flowing sensations of peace and quiet. The soft adventures were gently coming to a close, not with a sudden stop, but with a gradual, graceful winding down. It was like a beautiful piece of music slowing to its final, quiet notes, leaving a lingering feeling of harmony and peace. Lily felt ready, completely ready, to simply drift. As the shimmering bubble gently descended, guiding Lily deeper and deeper into the heart of the whispering tree, she felt herself becoming softer, lighter, and more profoundly sleepy with each gentle moment. The soft glow of the tree's inner world, diffused through its countless, shimmering leaves, grew brighter, wrapping around her like a warm, comforting embrace. It was the light of pure, gentle slumber. The hum of the whispering tree was now a deep, resonant vibration that filled every corner of the space, a continuous, soothing lullaby that seemed to lull her very core. It was the sound of profound peace, a sound that gently smoothed away any lingering wisp of wakefulness, inviting her to sink deeper and deeper into relaxation. She felt completely enveloped, completely safe, completely loved. Her bubble, her faithful companion on this gentle journey, slowly came to a soft, almost imperceptible stop within the tree. Lily gently floated out, her feet barely touching the glowing pathway that stretched out before her. The pathway now pulsed with an even softer, more inviting light, like a gentle carpet laid out just for her, guiding her home. The air inside the tree felt like a warm, silken blanket, imbued with the sweet scent of moon, blossoms, and the faintest hint of stardust. It was the familiar fragrance of pure comfort, the signature scent of the whispering tree's sleepy magic. Lily breathed in deeply, slowly, letting the calming aroma fill her lungs and relax every part of her body. She felt her body becoming wonderfully heavy, a pleasant weight that seemed to anchor her gently to the glowing pathway. Her eyelids felt deliciously heavy, fluttering only occasionally, like the wings of a very sleepy butterfly. Her thoughts were no longer flowing in a stream, but dissolving into soft, nebulous clouds, drifting gently in the vastness of her sleepy mind. The gentle echoes of her adventures still resonated within her, but now they were softer, fainter, blending into a single, cohesive feeling of profound peace. The purrs of the cloud, cuddle kittens, the rhythmic chuffs of the sleepy otters, the bubbly whispers of the giggle leaf imps, the deep sighs of the sleepy bears, and the continuous hum of the dragonflies and the whisper breezes of the butterflies, all these comforting sensations had woven themselves into the fabric of her being, a beautiful tapestry of calm. Lily moved forward on the glowing pathway, her steps becoming slower, more deliberate, almost as if she were walking through warm honey. There was no hurry, no need to rush. Every movement was a gentle, soft surrender to the pervasive feeling of sleepiness that enveloped her. She felt like a tiny cloud, drifting through a world made of dreams. The interior of the whispering tree seemed to respond to her growing sleepiness. The lights on the shimmering leaves dimmed just a tiny bit, becoming even softer, like countless nightlights designed to guide her gently into slumber. The gentle swirls of moonbeam ribbons on the pathway seemed to slow their dance, their movements becoming even more languid, mirroring the soft pace of her heart. She felt the profound presence of the whispering tree all around her, a vast, ancient, and endlessly kind friend. It was like being cradled in the gentle arms of a loving giant, safe and secure, free to simply let go and drift. The tree's hum was the only sound she truly heard now, a consistent, gentle thrum that resonated through the very air, a deep, comforting lullaby. Lily knew, without needing any words, that the tree was gently guiding her, preparing her for the final, most wonderful journey, the journey into deep, peaceful sleep. Every sensation, every sound, every gentle glow was working in perfect harmony, a symphony of calm designed to usher her into the sweetest slumber. She felt herself truly letting go, surrendering to the profound peace that surrounded her. As Lily continued her slow, graceful journey through the gentle heart of the whispering tree, Flicker, the tiny firefly, reappeared. Its warm, golden glow, which had been a guiding beacon at the beginning, now seemed to pulse with an even softer, more tender light, like a tiny, sleepy star. Flicker didn't fly quickly or dart ahead. Instead, it moved with an exquisite slowness, just a little ahead of Lily, patiently guiding her gently through the tree. Flicker's light seemed to dim and brighten in a slow, rhythmic dance, like a very sleepy heartbeat. It was a reassuring presence, a tiny, glowing friend ensuring Lily felt completely safe and unhurried as she prepared for the deepest slumber. The path they were on, woven from moonbeams, now looked even softer, like pure, illuminated velvet, inviting gentle, slow steps. The whispering tree's interior seemed to dim even more, becoming like a vast, cozy chamber lit by 1,000 tiny, soft night lights. The shimmering leaves, which had been bright at the start, now glowed with a wonderfully faint, almost imperceptible warmth, casting the softest, most ethereal shadows. It was the perfect atmosphere for winding down, for letting every sense relax into quietude. Flicker led Lily through gentle archways formed by softly curving branches, each one draped with luminous moss that glowed with a faint, comforting light. There were no turns that felt abrupt or confusing. Every twist and curve of their path was long and sweeping, designed to enhance the feeling of calm, guiding her without any effort on her part. Lily felt her body growing heavier and heavier, but in the most comfortable way. It was the delightful weight of deep relaxation, as if her limbs were sinking into the softest pillows. Her head felt wonderfully light and clear, no longer holding any busy thoughts, just a soft, expansive feeling of peace. Her breathing was now very slow and deep, a gentle, rhythmic rise and fall that mirrored the soft hum of the tree. The air around them grew even softer, infused with the whispering tree's unique blend of comforting scents, moon, blossoms, warm earth, and the faintest whisper of starlight. It was a scent that filled her lungs with tranquility, a fragrance that told her it was truly time to rest. Flicker's gentle light seemed to warm the air even more, making the journey feel like walking through a dream. As they moved, Lily noticed that the walls of the tree seemed to ripple with faint, sleepy images. They were like soft, blurry memories of her adventures, appearing and dissolving gently. She saw faint glimpses of the cloud, cuddle kittens purring, the sleepy otters arranging their stones, the giggle, leaf imps releasing their dream, Bubbles, the sleepy bears cuddling their blankets, and the humming dragonflies and whisper, winged butterflies drifting softly. These were not vivid images, but soft, fleeting sensations, like little goodbyes from her dreamy companions. Flicker paused at a spot where the tree's bark was exceptionally smooth and pearly, almost translucent. Its light pulsed with a gentle, final beat, as if to say, "This way, little one." "The last part of your journey awaits," Lily understood. This was the threshold, the very last gentle step before returning to her own cozy world. The whispering tree felt like a giant, loving protector its entire being dedicated to ushering her into the deepest, most restorative sleep. Every rustle of its shimmering leaves, every deep thrum of its core, every soft glow from its inner pathways was a gentle assurance that she was utterly safe and cared for. Lily followed Flicker's gentle lead, stepping onto the final section of the glowing pathway. Her feet felt impossibly light, as if they were barely touching the ground. She knew, with a calm certainty, that her journey inside the whispering tree was coming to its most peaceful conclusion, and soon she would be back in her own bed, ready to embrace the deepest, most wonderful slumber as Flicker, the tiny firefly, pulsed its soft, gentle light for the last time. Lily felt a profound sensation of being guided, ever so tenderly, towards a familiar warmth. The glowing pathway within the whispering tree began to shimmer with an even softer, almost ethereal light, creating a wonderfully blurred effect like a dream slowly dissolving into reality. She moved forward, her steps impossibly light and slow, feeling wonderfully heavy with sleep. Then, with the faintest whisper of a transition, Lily felt herself gently floating, no longer on the glowing pathway inside the tree, but drifting softly through what felt like her own window. There was no sudden jolt, no chilly air, just the smoothest, most seamless return, as if her window had become a soft, shimmering veil, allowing her to pass through with utter ease. She felt the familiar, gentle air of her own cozy bedroom embrace her. Her feet, which had felt wonderfully weightless on her journey, now gently touched the soft, warm carpet beside her bed. It was the carpet she knew so well, soft and comforting beneath her bare feet. She took a slow, deep breath, and the comforting scent of her own room, a mixture of fresh linen, and the faint, sweet smell of her favorite sleepy, time-cuddly toy filled her lungs. It was the scent of home, of safety, of her own little world, perfectly ready for sleep. Lily opened her eyes, very, very slowly, and there it was. Her cozy bedroom, bathed in the soft, diffused moonlight from her window. Everything was exactly as she had left it, peaceful and familiar. And on her windowsill, just where it had landed, was the shimmering leaf from the whispering tree. It was still there, but now its internal glow was very, very faintly like a tiny, sleepy ember that was just about to settle down for the night. The faint glow from the leaf pulsed once more, very, very softly, before settling into a steady, almost imperceptible shimmer. It was as if the leaf itself was sighing contentedly, its magic spent on guiding her back to her dreams, ready to rest alongside her. Lily knew that this leaf was a precious memento, a tangible reminder of her gentle adventures and the profound peace she had found. She looked out her window, and there was the whispering tree, standing tall and serene in her garden. Its shimmering leaves were now a very, very faint pearly white, glowing with the softest, most tender light, as if it too were settling into a deep, peaceful slumber. The gentle hum of the tree was still there, a soft, distant whisper that seemed to echo the feeling of calm that filled her room. Lily slowly, carefully, made her way to her bed. Her body felt wonderfully heavy, delightfully relaxed, as if every single muscle had melted into soft butter. She gently pulled back her fluffy blankets, which seemed to beckon her with their warmth and softness. The bed felt like the coziest cloud, perfectly shaped to cradle her tired body. She snuggled down deep into her bed, pulling the soft blankets up to her chin. The warmth of the covers enveloped her, a comforting weight that made her feel utterly secure. Her head sank into her soft pillow, which felt like the perfect cloud to rest her dreaming head upon. Every part of her body settled, finding its own cozy spot, melting into the soft mattress. The faint glow from the shimmering leaf on her windowsill was the last thing Lily saw before her eyelids fluttered closed. It was a tiny, soft light, a final, gentle twinkle, assuring her that the magic was still there, quietly waiting for her to drift into her deepest dreams. The leaf was a silent guardian, a soft promise that the whispering tree would always be her friend, always ready to share its peaceful stories. She breathed a deep, contented sigh, feeling the soft warmth of her bed, the gentle presence of the leaf, and the quiet hum of the whispering tree. Everything was perfect, everything was peaceful, and everything was ready for her to drift off into the most wonderful, restorative sleep. As Lily snuggled deeper and deeper into her bed, feeling the incredibly soft warmth of her fluffy blankets wrapped snugly around her, she felt the comforting presence of the stories she had just experienced. They weren't just memories in her mind. They were a feeling, a soft internal glow that seemed to warm her from the inside out, like a gentle, magical blanket woven from starlight and sleepy feelings. She felt the purrs of the cloud, cuddle kittens echoing softly in her chest, a gentle, rhythmic vibration that made her feel deeply content and safe. It was as if a tiny, warm kitten had curled up right inside her heart, purring her to sleep with its endless comfort. The sensation was so soothing, so peaceful that it quieted any lingering thoughts, leaving only a sense of warm, happy calm. The smoothness and warmth of the sleepy otter's sparkling stones lingered in her fingertips, a comforting echo of stillness and peace. She imagined holding one of those smooth, warm stones, letting its gentle heat spread through her hands, melting away any tiny tension in her body. This quiet feeling of smooth serenity spread throughout her, making her muscles relax even further. She could almost feel the gentle tickle of the giggle, leaf imp's dream bubbles floating softly around her, each one carrying a sweet dream. A soft, sleepy smile touched her lips as she remembered the tiny, gentle chuckles that filled the forest, a quiet bubbling of happiness that seemed to whisper, "Sleep well, little one. Dreams are here." The feeling of lightness and joy from these bubbles settled in her mind, making her thoughts wonderfully soft and happy. The deep, comforting sighs of the sleepy bears and the warmth of their fluffy blankets wrapped around her like a physical hug. She felt the soft, comforting weight of the blankets, the kind that makes you feel utterly secure and protected. It was as if the gentle bears were nearby, softly breathing their lullabies, ensuring she felt perfectly cozy and loved, ready for the deepest, most restorative rest. The rhythmic hum of the humming dragonflies continued to resonate in her ears, a soft, continuous melody that helped everything feel calm and still. It was a hypnotic, soothing sound that seemed to gently guide her breathing, making each inhale and exhale a long, slow, peaceful sigh. This constant, gentle rhythm was like a steady heartbeat of calm, keeping her anchored in serenity. And the whisper, breezes of the whisper, winged butterflies, carrying happy memories and peaceful thoughts, gently fanned over her, leaving a trail of quiet contentment. She felt the soft, invisible touch on her skin, a gentle caress that smoothed away any last tiny bit of wakefulness, leaving her mind wonderfully clear and serene, filled only with soft, pleasant feelings. Each of these gentle adventures, each soft encounter, had woven itself into a beautiful tapestry of comfort within her. She felt completely full of peace, completely at ease, completely ready to surrender to sleep. The world outside her blankets felt wonderfully distant, replaced by the warm, safe world inside her own sleepy thoughts. Lily's breathing was now very, very slow and deep, the kind of breathing that happens just before deep sleep claims you. Her body felt soft and heavy, nestled perfectly in her warm bed. Every muscle was relaxed. Every limb felt wonderfully loose and calm. There was no tension anywhere, just a profound sense of peace. The faint glow of the shimmering leaf on her windowsill was almost imperceptible now, a tiny, distant sparkle that was just about to fade into the gentle darkness. It was a final, soft reminder of the whispering tree, her kind friend in the garden, always watching over her, always ready to share its sleepy magic. She snuggled one last time, pulling her soft blankets even closer, feeling the profound warmth of the stories wrapped around her like a soft, invisible blanket. Her journey had filled her with such peace, such deep contentment, that she felt ready to drift effortlessly into the sweetest, most wonderful dreams. And so, as Lily lay nestled deeply in her bed, surrounded by the lingering warmth and peace of her gentle adventures, she felt her eyelids flutter very, very slowly, like the wings of the sleepiest butterfly. They felt impossibly heavy, so wonderfully heavy that they finally, softly settled into a complete close. The world outside, the soft glow of her room, gently faded away, replaced by the soft, dark canvas of coming dreams. The faint, soft hum of the whispering tree, which had been a constant, comforting presence throughout her journey, was now the last sound she truly heard. It was a deep, resonant vibration that seemed to fill her entire being, a continuous, soothing lullaby that permeated the very air around her. It wasn't a sound that kept her awake, but a sound that gently guided her, pulling her deeper and deeper into the comforting embrace of sleep. This hum was a promise, a soft rhythmic assurance that everything was safe, everything was well, and that she was completely cared for. It was the sound of the garden settling down, the sound of the moonbeams gently resting, the sound of all the sleepy creatures finding their deepest, most peaceful slumber. It was the sound of utter tranquility wrapping around her like the softest of blankets. Lily felt her breathing become even slower, even deeper, a gentle, rhythmic rise and fall that was almost imperceptible. Her body was completely relaxed, completely at ease, melting into the soft embrace of her bed. Her thoughts, which had been so beautifully shaped by the stories, now began to gently swirl, blending into soft, colorful patterns, the beginnings of her own sweet dreams. The image of the shimmering leaf on her windowsill, now glowing with the faintest whisper of light, was the last soft memory that touched her mind. It was a tiny, distant sparkle, a final, tender twinkle, a reminder of the quiet magic that had unfolded for her this night. It was a silent guardian promising that the connection to the whispering tree and its gentle, sleepy world would always be there, waiting for her. She felt a soft, comforting weight settle over her like the lightest, warmest cloud. It was the feeling of deep, profound rest of her mind and body finally letting go completely. There was no resistance, no lingering wakefulness, only a gentle, effortless surrender to the beautiful, vast quiet of slumber. The world was softening, blurring, becoming a place of pure, undisturbed peace. The quiet of her room was absolute, a perfect stillness broken only by the faintest, softest hum from the whispering tree, now so subtle it was almost a feeling rather than a sound. It was the sound of pure, unadulterated calm, a lullaby whispered from the heart of the garden, a gentle invitation to dream. Lily snuggled one last time, feeling the warmth of her bed, the softness of her blankets, and the profound peace that had filled her from the stories. She was suspended in a beautiful, weightless state, floating gently towards the deepest, most restorative sleep. The whispering tree's soft hum was the last sound she heard, a tender, loving farewell. And as the last star shimmered above, everything became still and quiet, the whispering tree humming its softest lullaby, the gentle garden dreaming in peace. Lily, nestled deep in her cozy bed, drifted into a world woven from purrs, soft glows, and gentle breezes, her heart full of warmth and calm. The moon watched over her, a silent, loving guardian. As her breath became slow and even, and sleep softly welcomed her, until there was only the soft sound of dreams. Good night.